Recording.
And welcome back to another episode of Suplex Biddies.
Biddies.
Episode 8. We are brought to you by Couch Guys Sports. Please make sure you use the internet one time. Go check them out. A lot of great content coming out via Couch Guys Sports. Myself, Chris Jones, your host. We got I've been fired down the bottom. Diego the DJ Galvis been relieved of his DJ duties for the WWE. And then we have Andrew, the wrestling aficionado, Hunterman, as well. So we got a jam-packed show for you. We're gonna words. We're gonna go over WrestleMania real quick. We're gonna give our highs and lows. We're gonna talk about the recent releases from WWE. Hunterman has a big take on that we'll get into, and then we're gonna do predictions on the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania, and it is indeed called WrestleMania Backlash.
Hate that
not
name.
not Backlash. WrestleMania.
Absolutely hate that.
Backlash. Don't you love WWE so much with that stuff? They just can't have the set schedule. They have to change it every year.
Yeah. Whatever.
All right. So let's dive into the results that happened from WrestleMania. Obviously, if you've watched, you know what happened. But in case the casual fan missed it, this is what you missed. Night one, we started off the show with the WWE title with Bobby Lashley retaining over Drew McIntyre. The women's tag team turmoil match, we had Natalya and Tamina beat the Riot Squad to receive a shot for the WWE Women's Tag Championships on night two. Cesaro, with the biggest win of his career, defeated Seth Rollins in a one-on-one match on the grandest stage of them all. We got new Raw Tag Team Champions as AJ Styles and Omos beat the New Day, a.k.a. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Braun Strowman beat Shane McMahon in a steel cage match. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest beat The Miz and John Morrison. And Bianca Belair became the new SmackDown Women's Champion as she beat Sasha Banks in the main event of night one. Moving to night two, we had Randy Orton defeating The Fiend to kick off the show. We have Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retaining their Women's Tag Team Championships over Natalya and Tamina.
Yep.
We had Kevin Owens beat Sami Zayn. We had Sheamus becoming the new United States champion with a win over Riddle. We saw Apollo Crews win the Nigerian drum fight over Big E to become the new Intercontinental Champions. Rhea Ripley defeated Asuka to become the new Raw Women's Champion. And Roman Reigns retained his Universal Championship against Edge and Daniel Bryan. So real quick, before we do that, before we dive into our highs and lows, I have these numbers down. Let me find them. Hold on. It's in my notebook somewhere. Here it is. WrestleMania. Boy. Honeyman, I'm not going to lie. You kind of stunk.
No, I got all the women right. So whatever, man.
Yeah, but so did Diego and I.
Yeah, but I said it first.
So Hunterman finished 7-5. He went 5-1 on night one, and 2-3 on night two.
Oh yeah, baby.
I went 9-3 overall, 6-0 night one, and 3-3 on night two. Hunterman, I'm sorry, you went 2-4 on night one. I can't do math.
Okay.
Diego went. Oh, Hunterman. When I saw this, I was like, this fucking kid. The second I say this, his head's going to get so big.
Oh, I'm sure.
Diego went 6-0 on night one. Diego then went 5-1 on night two.
Wow.
Finished 11-1 on his WrestleMania predictions. The only one he got wrong was The Fiend and Randy Orton.
Oh, we got
everything
a new
else,
fucking Undertaker in the realm, huh?
Everything else, Diego got right, including Sheamus becoming the new champion, which you and I both didn't have on him in. Including,
I said he deserved it.
You did. Including Roman Reigns. He was the only one that they're called Roman Reigns.
In the words of Diego at 11 p.m. in my house when everyone was trying to sleep, I fucking called it.
Actually, it wasn't that. It was slide through your freaking living room to like the almost end of like collapsing against
Whip
that
your
wall.
dink and weenie out.
Then my dick serving out as like a third leg, and me going, I fucking
And then Hanuman being like, dude,
people
are sleeping.
Yeah, instead of being happy for me, dude, people are sleeping.
Oh, listen, we were happy for
Hey,
you.
I said shut up, and then I said good job.
Yeah, we were happy for you.
I was like, well, I might as well just whip myself across the face with my fucking third leg. At this
I was mad at the fact that Daniel Bryan tore my heart and soul on strings the majority of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
that was tough.
Let's start off. We'll do some highs and lows. We'll start with the guy with the worst record of the bunch. Hanuman, give me your two highs from 2 nights of WrestleMania.
Want to just do both all together, like between the both nights?
Mhm.
My well, obviously, I think we're gonna have very similar ones, but my first one's gonna be Belair and Sasha. I think that them main eventing the first night, and they got that moment at the beginning when they were both sitting in the ring and the fans were going crazy. Everybody was going crazy. You could see them visibly get emotional, crying in the ring because it was such a big moment. And then they just went on and delivered a hell of a championship match. So Belair looked like a star. As always, people will say, "Oh, there's a couple miscues," but the woman overhead pressed another human being from outside of the ring, walked up the stairs, stood there, and then threw her in the ring. Like, I'd like to see someone do that with like a sack of potatoes, let alone a human being. So,
not only was that match like epic to watch, but it has so much history behind it too, especially with what is unfortunately going on in today's day and age that we can't seem to avoid for some reason. It's like our human society just can't do any better. But it's the first time that 2 African-American women are in such a big stage. Like, I can say this as a Latino and as somebody that's having to adjust to American culture. That is a big moment. That is something that you look forward to is your whole freaking life. Like, just even as a Latino gain U.S. citizenship, like that just breaks your heart into a million pieces because your emotions are just running at an all-time high at that point. So,
and I was gonna say, it was nice seeing the 2, African American women being able to main event the show. And again, it was history. You could tell they knew they were making history. And then there's a bunch of videos that surfaced of the women's locker room watching along and everything. So it was great. And then for the second highlight for me, because I feel like someone over on the end there might pick the triple threat because he might have gotten something right. My other top match is going to have to be the Bad Bunny, Priest versus Miz and Morrison, because I don't think anyone expected that. Because that was, dude, if you told me the Bad Bunny was going to come in here, work like a 20-25 minute match, however long it was, and just literally be in the ring for like 85% of it, just doing everything, I would have been like, get the hell out of here, dude. What do you mean? He doesn't have that cardio. He ain't got that skill. And what did he do? He did a Bad Bunny destroyer on the outside.
15 minutes, and he was probably in the ring for 12. It was just outlandish.
So when they do the times, I want to know if they count the entrances, because I always try to count that as a total.
No, so, I think it's in the match. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the big thing for that match for me was the fact of how good John Morrison can make people look. People don't talk about that more. Is the fact that John Morrison helped him, in a sense, do that.
I feel like I've spoken pretty high praise about that man for the first 8 episodes.
I don't think we've discussed John Morrison once on this.
I mean, maybe I just think it in my head, but whatever. It was great.
Yeah. I'll go next. I'll let Diego.
Do you want me to do my low light now?
No, we'll do the low light after.
All right.
I'll do my highs. Obviously, my first high is Cesaro beating Seth Rollins. Cesaro's been one of the most underrated, underutilized guys on this roster in his career, and for him to get such a big win on a night like this, it was just great to see it. I'm hoping that this is the start of big things to come for Cesaro. And then my other one originally was going to be the triple threat universal title, but I mean, I think that's everybody's. So I was actually very excited about Rhea Ripley and Asuka. I thought that was a very good match from start to finish. And we literally are seeing the new era of women's wrestling with Ripley, Belair, and even Raquel Gonzalez in NXT. So for me, those were my 2 highs of WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, those are. I mean, you guys have pretty much touched upon some of like at least 60% of the biggest highs of WrestleMania. But I think another match that I think people just kind of have it in the back burner, but it's also a big match as well, was the Bobby Lashley match. That was it was great to see both of these guys just display their level of physicality, grind it until the very end, put up such a great product, and at the end of the day, just cap it off really well.
It was
superstars.
so I agree because I feel like it kind of got lost in the shuffle because it was literally the first match.
I mean,
of the entire.
It's night
weekend.
one. It was the beginning of the weekend. Like
Mhm.
I think overall in the aspect of the product in itself, I think night one really set it into such a high pedestal that night two really just needed to perform that much better, and they did. Do I think going forward WrestleMania should really be 2 nights? No way, no.
I hope so, man. I would love it if they kept it.
But
Diego doesn't. You hope they keep it.
Oh, you said you don't want it.
No.
Really? Okay.
No, because I'll get into that later. But so my first match, obviously, Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. But my second match as well, I actually really I thought this was going to be one of the duds, but I actually really enjoyed the match between Braun Strowman and Shane O'Mac. I thought it was going to be just a pointless little match with Shane O'Mac doing his little thing and whatnot, but Shane brought a lot of his throwback stuff, like the end-to-end dive and
Coast to coast.
The coast to coast. I'm sorry, end-to-end, whatever.
No,
fucking know what I meant.
Coast to coast.
Diving from the top of being literally smashed from the top of the freaking steel cage, like that was just awesome. I thought I wasn't expecting to see that much physicality out of these two, but I thought the two actually put up a decent product. I didn't think it was a dud like it was expected to be. I thought Shane gave Braun a good fight, and it just shows what Shane O'Mac can actually bring to WWE when he puts his focus into it. So
that was much better than it had any right to be. I agree.
All right, let's move into lows. Hunneman, you got 2 lows. You got 1 low.
I'm gonna stick with the one because I actually saw it coming from when we did our predictions before. I thought that the Randy Orton Fiend match was trash. It was a spectacle of visual, stimulus and everything. Don't necessarily know where it's going yet. They kind of explained it a little bit on Raw, but listen right here. You see this little bite-sized Butterfinger, right? First time I've ever eaten one of these. That 20 seconds of joy that I just got from eating this and then just picking it out of my teeth was more enjoyment than I got out of that entire feud in the end. So dude, 1 RKO, you're going to beat the Fiend. Okay, so maybe she drained his life force and all that crap, whatever they were doing with Alexa. I was really upset that I thought they weren't going to do a real just one-on-one match because it just felt like it needed to be more because of how over the top it's been the entire time. Yeah. So, by doing that, and they had the Fiend in the box and all that, which is the entrance was cool and everything. I thought it sucked. And they have to pay it off somehow, but I just think it's just going to lead to Alexa Bliss wearing some different eye makeup. And then that's it.
It's going to be Alexa Bliss and Sister Abigail versus the Fiend in a Firefly Funhouse match at SummerSlam.
Whatever, man.
The only issue is when they first debuted the Fiend, they're like, okay, we can't do anything wrong with it.
Yep.
And they did right away because they put the title on. Now Bliss is probably one of the most over women in the company right now. You can't mess her up, and that's their big issue. Is they're trying to figure out how not to mess her up. So having her basically not compete is not messing her up, because if she faces anybody in the women's division, that women's division is already going to take a big hit.
Like at this point, she should be able to beat Ronda Rousey with this mythical power, in like a squash match. So it's like they got to tread lightly, and it's tough. And I mean, maybe they put the Fiend character to rest for good, and then it might be just Bray and then dipping into it every once in a while. But I thought that was trash. I mean, I could go on, but carry on.
My dud, honestly, the Raw Tag Team title match. I was just hoping to see more Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston versus AJ.
Mhm.
And we saw AJ for like 5 minutes, and then he tagged in almost, and literally it was just classic WWE big man after that.
Just
So
shaking off every strike, every move, and
Just-
everyone going, oh, and that was
just no thanks, don't need it.
Mhm.
So that was my
AJ's
dud.
Grand Slam champion now, though, so that's good.
Yeah, good for AJ being a Grand Slam champion. Bad because almost is Tyson Tomko 2.0.
Tyson Tomko. Oh.
Diego?
I think for me, the dud was actually the Nigerian drum night. I actually like the intros were real good, represented both of their cultures and what they wanted to bring the message across. I appreciated Big E's local introduction with Wally coming in and
Wale.
doing the whole, getting the whole Tampa stadium riled up and going. But
He
after
was hype, dude.
but
Yeah,
after
I've
that,
never seen a more hype boy in my life.
That's
than
how you
Big
know he was
Langston.
losing.
Yeah, dude, I'm still surprised they did it, but I liked how they did it. Did you like the guy that came in at the end, Diego? Did you recognize him from TV over the summer? No, he was on Raw Underground very briefly when they had that little gimmick going.
Yep.
Yeah.
I recognize. Never
And
mind,
Jones went dark again. Here we go, boys. Once
It
Jones,
would not be a Suplex Biddies recording if Jones doesn't go dark.
do you know how to fix that? Because I can
No.
tell you, I can take you there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think for the Apollo match, I mean, the way that it played out, the rivalry wasn't great, but getting Apollo that bodyguard in a sense as a heel, I think was a great ad for them. So I think that was big time for them.
So I think
well.
I think for that match, the aspect of bringing Raw Underground basically back to its surface, it served a good purpose, especially at WrestleMania, as you started to clear some of the, not so useful part of things. But I think the overall product just didn't deliver as much as the introductions did, and I expect that a lot
Right.
more.
No, I agree with you.
It's fair.
All right, so that's our WrestleMania recap. So we're gonna go into WWE some more. We get some releases that took place yesterday, and just to name a few: Bo Dallas, Mojo Rawley, Kalisto, Chelsea Green, Mickey James, Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, and the one that hit us very close to home, Smojo.
Did you mention Chelsea Green as well?
I did.
Okay.
Chelsea Green.
I don't think I heard that, but
I said it right after Kalisto. So those are some of the names. Real quick, just give me your thoughts on the releases that WWE had, and then
You guys go first.
well, I think so. Yesterday in the group chat, I remember I hit you guys with the news, and both of you are like, "What the fuck?" Like you both had that like, "What the fuck" moment.
You ever see the TikTok when literally like he makes a face goes, "What the fuck was that?" That's literally my reaction was yesterday.
Yeah, like I got the alert from WWE Twitter's page because I follow them closely as much as I can. And I see this, I'm like, all right, somebody's pulling a late April Fool's.
Is it April Fool's?
I'm like, if you're pulling a late April Fool's, you kind of you should be fired from social media in itself. But jokes aside, like, no, Samoa Joe and all these people I let go. I think the biggest one that really like surprised me was also seeing Peyton Royce being let go as well. She was doing such a great product in itself that I think WWE just did not allow her an opportunity to continue further with that role in itself. Yeah, did they give her and Billy Kay the opportunity to be tag team champions? Like, that's great and all. They had their moments and whatnot throughout their career wrestling at WWE. But I think it was unfair to be released as early, especially where she brings so much character and talent and charisma all together to the roster in itself at times when it's often needed. Her personality connects very well with the public, and I think at this point right now, when you just turn the page from COVID and having fans back in, you kind of need that charisma to even fire up your fans at the time. The Samoa Joe one was completely out of the gutter on me because we had expectations that there was going to be a shakeup in terms of commentators. anyways. But I didn't expect the shakeup to be in this magnitude. I think we are all expecting Samoa Joe to go back into the ring and do his own thing and have probably a SummerSlam moment or one of those big pay-per-view moments. But to be released out of WWE, that was just absolutely insane. I think breaking apart the Tucker and
oh yeah, Big Daddy Otis.
I think tearing away Heavy Machinery was kind of stupid in itself, just because that tag team like brings like a great fun atmosphere about the product.
They're very fun.
But WWE's got to do what they got to do. It wouldn't be Black Thursday because it's WWE. So unexpected things, but I guess we are in an age where you can expect the unexpected at this point. So
I guess so.
I mean, for me personally, I think we're going to see both Peyton Royce and Billy Kay are going to be picked up by AEW. I think that's going to be probably AEW's number one priority.
No question.
Right there is because Peyton Royce's boyfriend or husband or whatever they are now.
I think husband at this point.
Sean Spears is in AEW, so I guarantee that's where.
Wait, I can't hear you, Jones.
I think we lost you for a sec, Jones.
Say that again. Lost you.
Can you hear me? All right. But I think Peyton Royce would be a very big addition to that women's division, and I think her and Billy Kay would be just what that women's division needs to take it to the next level in AEW.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their level of experience would be fantastic addition there.
The other releases, I mean, maybe like Mojo Rawley, I could see him going to like TNA to go with Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
Get the Hype Bros 2.0 in TNA. But I mean, other than that, I'm curious to see where Samoa Joe goes.
I think Samoa. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it's your time to talk. It's your time to talk.
No, but you had a point, and I don't want to cut you off on your point. Go ahead.
I would say that I think Samoa Joe could probably have a sports commentator career for somebody like TNT or maybe ESPN, because he did such a great job delivering that product in itself for the WWE environment.
Well, I think the only issue is if one of New Japan or AEW will clear him to wrestle, I guarantee he goes there, because I don't think WWE was clearing him, and I think that's why he asked for his release. I don't think he wanted to be released, but if they weren't clearing him, he didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But those are my thoughts about it. I mean, it's just, they say all the time, oh, there's no such thing. We don't dump all these contracts after WrestleMania. Here we are.
Well, they used to be the WWE spring cleaning every year around this time, and they said that they weren't going to be doing it anymore once they started hoarding the talent because they didn't want anybody going anywhere. And I guess I can dive into my reactions on that one. A year to the day, I believe. Just disregard the whole leap year day, but like April 15th, tax day, my roommate's birthday, doesn't matter. You released all these people in the pandemic, not a great look. And then this time around, you released like Kalisto, who was looked at as potentially like, the next coming of Rey Mysterio. Had a fine career, couple-time US champ, NXT tag champ, had plenty more to give. I mean, I feel like he had way more that he could do with even luchadors and everything. He'll land somewhere, he'll be fine. Mojo Rawley hasn't been on the TV much, He was there for Gronk, I think, when they brought Gronk and think they were going to do more. Didn't work out. Chelsea Green, I think, is going to end up being a star. Like you guys said, she'll probably go back to TNA. She could end up in AEW. AEW might get a huge boost to their women's division. Mm-hmm. And the other ones, Mickie James, put her in NXT. Let her work with the younger people. You'd act like she didn't have more to give. Like she was just on WrestleMania talking about how she loved the women's division and wanted to be a part of it. Literally on your pre-show. And they said, sorry, dude. And then Samoa Joe, Billy Kay, Peyton Royce. Really? You're going to release Samoa Joe, Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, the Iconics, and the Samoan submission machine in the prime of their careers. Samoa Joe, best man on the mic. not even questionable. Iconics, the most over team in your women's division that no one cares about. You split them. You do nothing with them. Oh, you done fucked up.
It's got me fucked up. It's got me fucked up.
The second I heard that song, I was like, this fucking kid.
I queued it up pretty well. It worked out.
That was pretty good.
I was going to yell a little louder, but I didn't want to.
Best regards to Joey Headrocker and every other person that got released by WWE. So
I mean, I just want to add a quick shout out. Chelsea Green, I know you're looking into the podcasting career. Suplex Biddies can use your help. So
you want a platform?
big shout out.
We'll get you at least 100 views. Swear to God. I'll pay for it.
She'll get us 100 views. That's the catch.
Well, yeah, true. She is the star.
For minutes.
All right, so let's move on to the final topic we got tonight. The next pay-per-view. What a horrible name. WrestleMania Backlash. It used to be just Backlash. Now it's WrestleMania.
Because we're stupid, in case you guys didn't know.
Backlash.
Oh my God.
No, you're stupid. Nobody calls me stupid.
So
I'm gonna suplex you from the top of the cage.
We got worked into a shoot,
suplex.
Diego. You see this? You ever been worked so hard you got worked into a shoot? It happened right now.
It's called my whole fucking career.
So we got one match on the card officially. It's the rematch for the WWE title, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. What we're going to do is we're going to give predictions on some of the matches that we think we could potentially be seeing on this card. So, who wants to go first? Who wants to give me
I think
a hypothetical?
I'll go.
Give me a
do you want to say who we think's going to win the WWE match and then the rematches or whatever they're doing?
Or just give me what you think the card's going to look like.
You're going to get, obviously, so Lashley and McIntyre got announced. I think, so Lashley got his big win at WrestleMania, which I liked. I was unsure of how they were going to do it, and I thought Drew would have got booed if, he won it in front of the fans, but he got a huge ovation. I think he kind of needs the win a little more.
Lashley or Drew?
No, Drew. He carried them through the COVID days, was their poster boy, and he went from having all these great matches being like this Terminator good guy, take on all comers, and they almost turned it into like the corny like John Cena type where it was really tough to beat him. He made like these kind of like silly promos and stuff like that, and it's like I don't like that they just defaulted back to that method. But Lashley breaking up the Hurt Business and not seeing anything happen on Raw, huge disappointment. At this point, you just toss these dudes aside. And I'm glad Cedric and Benjamin weren't released, for the off chance they do get everybody back together. But I think McIntyre needs it, and I hope he kind of gets back on top because he's got plenty more feuds to work with him. And
I think
we'll see.
the big thing we're going to see in this match is we're going to see some fuckery. And Lashley beat McIntyre clean at Mania. He doesn't beat him clean at Backlash, and it sets up McIntyre trying to prove himself, which sets him up with other feuds going forward. Personally,
okay. Gets screwed one more time, then goes down the totem pole.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it.
So give me like a hypothetical match. Do you think we're going to see?
Well, since I have SmackDown on here in the background, they're hinting at a Cesaro versus Roman match, which we've kind of been calling for a little while now. I have my volume down, so I don't necessarily know what happened, but Roman was doing a promo, came out talking about everything going on, said, the fans missed their tribal chief. And Cesaro walked down. I don't even know if they interacted, but Roman just left. So it was once again, the angle might be just Cesaro getting disrespected, which is great because he's going to come out firing all cylinders, and everybody in that freaking company knows how good he is. And as we come back from a commercial, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn's happening. So there goes that prediction for my rematch at the next pay-per-view.
So from what it looks like Cesaro came out feeling good about himself, and Roman Reigns and company just left.
Yeah,
that's it. There was no interaction.
Dude, they just left.
They just left. So when
Cesaro for Money in the Bank, put it in the bank right now. Cesaro briefcase boy, it's coming.
I like it. So I wrote a little prediction blog about what I think we're going to see at Backlash for at least title matches. Diego, do you have any thoughts or predictions that you think we can see for the next upcoming pay-per-views?
I mean, I kind of was feeling a potential Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair match, considering that Charlotte Flair just reappeared on Raw and she said that she's the opportunity.
That's the best part on Raw.
I feel like the follow-up to that opportunity for Rhea Ripley is having a match against the opportunity herself.
Yeah.
And that would be a great matchup between those two, considering that Rhea Ripley was really just disappearing due to immigrational issues coming back to the US. Another one that I personally would love to see. I wouldn't love to see, but it's gonna happen because it's WWE, and just like the Jet at draft night, WWE does WWE whenever they can.
Did you compare the World Wrestling Entertainment
To the
Company
Jets.
to the New York Jets?
Mark Sanchez
just
is
see-
rolling over
did you
in his
just see what-
retirement home.
Did you just see what they did? Did you
I'm not
just see
laughing
what-
at you. I'm laughing at what Hunter said about Mark Sanchez in a retirement home.
Who is Mark Sanchez? Anyways,
The guy who beat us in the playoffs. Go ahead.
Yep, that one time.
So I'm sorry, we keep interrupting you. What is the match that you would like to see,
so the next,
or that you don't want to see?
I think the next matchup that's probably going to happen is part 2 of Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair.
And is
Because
that the one
that's-
you don't want to see, but you think it's going to happen?
I don't want to see it simply because it's already been an opportunity, had its moment, it's fantastic in itself. Leave it
Yeah.
alone. Don't fuck up with it.
Yeah.
That's where I think WWE is going to fuck up because that's just what they do perfectly.
Yeah, but they like to run the rivalry into the ground. I mean,
Oh,
of course.
have you not seen Randy Orton and the Fiend
Yeah, like see, so
in
like,
the ground?
but I mean another great
Butterfingers.
another great match that I think would happen though would be fantastic to see somebody like Sheamus versus Keith Lee for the United States Championship. Like that's something I would actually like to see because Keith Lee deserves an opportunity again.
Oh, trust
He
me,
was
it will
supposed to get
happen.
it. I think, yeah, that I would. I'm surprised he didn't come back on.
I mean
Raw.
that all depends if it clears. Obviously,
Yeah, once
if
he
it
clears,
back up.
that's his
Whatever
first-
the
that's his
heck is
first
going
feud.
on with him, whenever he's back, he's gonna hopefully get pushed right back into something special.
Oh, he will.
Because that man, I can't like you fucked up Samoa Joe, you fucked up Rhea Ripley the first time. Don't fuck up Keith Lee. I beg you, WWE, one time, just listen, please. I beg you,
Yeah, listen to your fellow Suplex Biddies.
please.
But for me to go back on the Raw women's title match, I think we're gonna get Rhea versus Charlotte, but Asuka's also gonna be in the mix as well.
And she's
They're gonna
take
do
the
it-
fall.
Like a triple threat, yeah.
They're gonna do a triple threat with that. So just imagine Charlotte getting introduced as Charlotte the Opportunity Player. That's just gonna be brutal. But I do agree with Diego. I think we're gonna see Bianca and Sasha Banks rematch. So they're gonna have like a series of matches. It's gonna happen, but it's just gonna make Belair that much of a more of a star, in my opinion.
Whip
So-
it harder. Whip it harder.
For her to beat Sasha repeatedly, I think would be big for her stock in WWE at the moment. So I think we'll see that. The Universal Championship.
Looks like it's gonna be Cesaro, dude. I hope so.
I fucking hope it's gonna be Cesaro.
Mhm.
But knowing WWE, like I think I know WWE, it's gonna be Roman Reigns versus Edge.
Yeah,
The
it
one-on-one
could be.
that they didn't get.
they'll
I
just do
don't
it
want to
anyway.
see it. I don't want to see it, but I guarantee that's what's gonna happen.
I think you might get Edge and Bryan instead while Cesaro takes that 1 month main event feud.
I'll gladly take that. Easy, hands down.
Yeah.
Give me Edge and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, by the way. I
Oh,
want
dude,
that on-
They gotta
on
do
down
that
the
because
record
that
right
one
now.
time Seth Rollins was like, "I'm gonna kill him anyway," and then his cackle leg was like, "Ah, I can't do it."
Also, a couple more matches I have predicted. The SmackDown Tag Team titles, I think we're going to get them Dirty Dogs. I know they're defending the titles against the Street Profits. I think they're going to retain. But I do think we're going to get the Dirty Dogs versus the Mysterios at WrestleMania Backlash. I think that's one of those matches that it's just going to help solidify them Dirty Dogs as tag team champions.
Mhm.
And I think we're going to start seeing them go from the Mysterios to Alpha Academy to then facing the Street Profits again at SummerSlam and
They
losing
did.
the tag titles.
They also had Ray and Dominic versus Otis and Gable on SmackDown right now, and it was Ray versus Otis, and then the other two were just out there accompanying him, and Ray got the win. So again, there you go. You might be
pushes it right there.
Yeah, and then you can have Street Profits rebuild against the Alpha Academy. Yeah,
I
hope the tag titles make it onto the card. You know, like Raw made it, but it was more of like a spot for
SmackDown will, because it wasn't on WrestleMania.
Yeah, it kind of got screwed.
And I think I'm pretty sure this is like the first time that the Dirty Dogs are defending the title since they've got. By the way,
well, outside of last week on SmackDown, they had the Fatal 4-Way with all the teams that would have been
was for the title
match. Yeah.
Okay. And my last match, I think the Intercontinental title is going to be on the line. I don't think we get Apollo and Big E. I think we're going to get that on SmackDown. I think we're going to get Apollo and Kevin Owens. And my thoughts on it is this. Kevin Owens is so good right now. He's so over. He needs to be in the title picture, but you can't put him in the Universal title picture because you already ran that into the ground. So you have him versus Apollo Crews.
Over and over again.
You have him versus Apollo Crews. You put Apollo over as that heel, the mid-card hero on SmackDown. I think that'd be big time for him. I think this would be the start of a big feud for the two of them.
No, I can see it. I just want to know what happens to Big E now, because he'll obviously want his rematch because he wants to give his comeuppance back to Apollo. And I don't remember his new name because they've already rebranded. It's Baba, whatever. What was his name? Big boy.
It was Dabakato at first.
Dabakato, that's what it was. So he's now like Lieutenant something. They already like rebranded him. So.
Lieutenant Avocado, got it.
General Aladdin.
But no, so I think. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think.
I love. Big E.
I think the Backlash card's gonna be a good card. It's not gonna be big, but I think they're gonna start creating, to start getting the trend going towards Money in the Bank, which I do agree with you. Cesaro should be the favorite to win that 100%.
The only thing too, I'm wondering now because they had WrestleMania and it had the fans and everything. Now they're going back to the Thunderdome for now, which is all well and good until things start to slowly ramp up again for fans and everything. So I'm wondering if they're going to keep their pay-per-views to like the 3-hour range like they were doing before because it's not a live audience. So if it's a smaller card, you're only going to get like 5-6 matches. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff they could do, but as you said, they might toss a lot of it on Raw and SmackDown just to build up the ratings and everything. Like Big E Apollo sounds like a SmackDown main event in 2 weeks, 100%. So we'll see how that goes.
No, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how everything transpires and to see what the card looks like. Literally the week before is always probably my favorite because you sit there and you look and you go, okay, good. Why is this here? Good. I don't want to watch that again. Good. All right. But I mean,
shout out to the best spot of the weekend. And by the way, for WrestleMania, when Sheamus kicked Riddle in midair, I think it was the best spot on the weekend. We didn't talk about that, but that was fun.
100%. Awesome. I was just about to say, are there any final thoughts that either of you have before we conclude episode 8 of the Biddies of the Suplexes?
I like the 2-night WrestleMania. I don't necessarily like the friends I invite over to watch them.
Not you, Diego.
Not you, Diego. I love my friends, but it's a lot to entertain 2 nights in a row. But I love my wrestling. I like when it's split up. As someone who's attended several WrestleManias, several as in 2, they're very long. You get there at like 4:00. You don't get home. You don't leave till 1. So I like it getting split up, and it's more revenue for them if they split up the card. So we will see how they do it. But yeah, no. Overall, hats off to them. It was a very good show. Very sports entertained on my end.
Mr. Galvis, any final thoughts besides anybody wanting Bad Bunny tickets because it is his final tour, as one of our friends did not know what that meant.
Yeah. Good luck. I mean, it's also the same friend that said that Bianca Belair is ugly because she's got no booties.
Don't worry, audience. Don't worry, audience. I slapped him.
Shout out to
him.
The 2 T's. Boom, boom.
If only like the 3 of us know who that is. He's gonna get so mad if he listens to this episode. Just
what you talking about?
This is gonna be great. Yeah.
No. What I would say is, so I'm not a hater of the 2-night or WrestleMania, but I think when you are trying to milk so much of the rest of the product in itself about WWE, when you're trying to continue to push over over push like the podcasts that you got on the network, the merchandise that you got going on, the check out this after WrestleMania, check out that. Like, enough. Like, just get to the fucking matches, get them going. Like, 2.5
It's Commander
hours.
Aziz. Hey, they just showed it. It's Commander Aziz.
Commander Aziz.
Yeah.
Right.
He's holding Apollo's, I don't want to say staff or whatever it is because I don't want to offend anybody. I don't know what it is.
Might as well just name him Colonel Dick Wrinkle, but you know, what
Jesus. All right, you know.
That's enough out of you.
But no, what I would say is, like, for WrestleMania, I would love it if the nights were a little bit shrink down, but more emphasized on the matches themselves. So, like, if there were 2.5 hour long like nights rather than 3.5 hour to almost 4, where they're just milking the rest of whatever they got going on that they continue to milk through Raw, through SmackDown, through NXT. Like, enough. We get the fucking point. We should be listening to you podcasts, but we don't. All right, so move on.
You want to hear more Cricket Wireless plugs on the network? What do you mean?
No.
Zero.
You don't want a big little green guy yelling at you stealing your clothes?
All right,
Cricket's not getting the opportunity. Okay, just move on. They tried, they had it, they didn't get it. Move on. But the secondary part to that is, I think this whole WWE, this whole WrestleMania Backlash, it almost sounds like reverse whatever good we did at WrestleMania and make it just 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Which is just so WWE to do.
We're gonna call it Backlash without WrestleMania.
They're trying to sell it, but like,
it's
gonna be
so unnecessary.
What I would actually love to see happening, though, is maybe a teaser towards the comeback of Becky Lynch, because you know she's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You know she's going to be coming back. Is it Backlash? Probably not. Is it SummerSlam? More likely. But like that teaser that she did towards WrestleMania potential comeback, that was a perfect way to fuck with the rest of the fans. And I absolutely
agreed.
She did it at the Rumble too.
Yep. Yeah. Final thought from me, and I'll sign this off here. Speaking of Becky Lynch, I had this bold take I was going to have coming in, and we were talking about Money in the Bank. Becky Lynch is going to win Women's Money in the Bank. Book it now.
Storytelling, because she gave up her title at the last one. And as you said, Jones, it is the tag team championship tonight is the main event. It looks like Street Profits versus the Dirty Dogs. What is their name?
Dirty Dogs.
Dirty Dogs.
Them Dirty Dogs.
Damn Dirty Dogs.
All right. So episode 8 brought to you again by Couch Guy Sports. Make sure you use the internet one time. Go look at all the blogs on there. The stocks going through the roof on Couch Guy. We're doing big things right now. Big shout out to all the writers. Big shout out to all the podcasts that we have on. If you haven't, make sure you go check the shop and get some merchandise. CouchGuySportsShop.com.
Cup of t-shirts.
Everybody, cup of tees. Diego, CouchGuySportsShop.com. I get it right?
Huh? Bad Buddy? Huh? You want to tell us what the merchandise is?
Yeah. You want to help?
Bad Buddy?
The trucker hat might be perfect for the truck that he's driving through the last tour of the world that he's doing.
100%. All right. So from the wrestling aficionado, Andrew Hunman, from Diego, I'm going to try and get this kid Bad Bunny tickets. Calvis. I am your host, Chris Jones, signing off. We'll see you guys next week.